What's up? What's up, everybody? Give people a chance to get in the room. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on? Give it a couple more minutes. Let some more people get in here. Give everybody check a second to catch up. If you in the room, let me know if you can hear me in the chat. How's everybody feeling today? What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Austin, what's going on? Excellent. All right. Give it a couple more minutes. We up to like 5 people now. One of these days, I'm gonna have like 1,000 people in the chat, man. I'm gonna be nervous, you know. That's cool. Hopefully, everybody's good, man. I had to take off the last 2 weeks. I'm in California, and I don't know if y'all noticed, but there's been a lot of fires out here, man. So I don't know if the fires got me sick or if I just caught a cold or something like that. But I didn't have COVID. But there was a lot of coughing and sneezing and stuff. So I was like, you know what? I don't even want to get on here and do a live. I'm just not feeling good. So everything kind of died down. The skies are looking clear right now, but still, just still recovering. All right. All right. Well, look, man, we can get started. I don't want to be in here too long. I know there's a game on, so I'm trying to get everybody out of here on time. Let's get some information real quick, and hopefully I can help y'all with some stuff, man. Oh yeah, David. Yeah, amongst other things, man. But those fires were crazy. Here by where I'm at, like I could see them in the sky. You could smell it. You know the ash, and see the little ash falling out of the sky. So I don't know if I was sneezing from that. I don't know if it was just whatever, So anyway, all right. So today's question is, are you too young to get in shape? And this isn't just for teenagers. This is for anybody, And so if you guys are adults and you have kids and you got teenagers, you got 13-year-olds, 12, 14-year-olds, 20-year-olds, whatever, somebody younger, I'm going to say this today, and hopefully you guys can pass this information on to somebody younger just so that we're all on the same page and aligning ourselves the correct way when it's time to start exercising versus going at exercise with this weird approach. Now, I'm going to break down a couple things today that I've been seeing. I joined the gym the other day. I told y'all a couple weeks ago that I joined Crunch. So I joined Crunch Fitness, and as I've been bouncing around a couple different Crunch Fitnesses, I've been able to see the style of workouts that people are doing, and I'm able to see the generations of different people and how they like to exercise, right, and what they're going after. I've noticed something in the gym about the younger generation, right, the way they're working out. I don't want to sound like an old man. Like back in my day, we used to do this because realistically, back in my day, we wasn't even in the gym. You know what I mean? So it's cool to see that there's younger guys in the gym at all in the first place, because that's a great place to be when you're, in high school. Like, I was in the weight room in high school, but it was no real information. It was just, look, you can go bench press, shoulder press, and some deadlifts, squats. You know what I mean? You might do some. And that was it. That's all we were doing. So there was really no detail driven, no style, no efficiency in the way we were working out. But now there's so much information available that I think that the kids who actually want to get in shape, and are inspired to get in shape, they want to look like what the older guys look like, or the people who have more detail. Now, granted, you can get in shape. You can get in shape at a young age, and that's fine. But let's talk about a couple of things about how to do it and how to do it efficiently, so that you don't do crazy things like stunt your growth, so that you don't do anything like, tear your joints up too young, blow your lines, So let's just get into a couple of things. And the first thing we're going to talk about is it's better to start young and to maintain your lines, because you can blow your lines early if you get out of shape young. Okay, now I've talked about blowing your lines before. Blowing your lines is like whatever your body looks like when you start putting on too much weight and start putting on too much size and stuff. What happens is your waist will expand, your muscles, not your muscles, but your arms will expand, that elasticity in your skin stretches, and you may not have a real detailed muscle look anyway. Not even detailed muscle look, but you may not even know what you look like. You might just look like a blob, because your body isn't well put together because you've been eating and not exercising and letting yourself go, maybe not putting any tension, any pressure on your muscles. And so you don't have any detail. You may just be fluffy, right? Now, when you're young, this is a problem because it's hard to shake that. When it's time to get older, and like what I'll see in the gym, here's a question. What am I noticing from young people in the gym? Noticing that some of y'all look terrible. You know what I'm saying? And you're too young to look that terrible. And that doesn't make sense to me. Like, if you're gonna be in there, okay, but why are you in the gym trying to get something back? What happened? You know what I mean? Like, what happened to where you got out of shape that young? Granted, okay, good deal. You're trying to get in there, you're trying to reverse whatever you did from these past summers, but you can't let yourself slip to the point where you're already on a transformation journey in your teens. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta get ahead of the ball, man. And I know a lot of things like your family goes into it. Your mom, she might cook for you. In certain cultures, food is the comfort. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you hungry? Okay, whatever. You not feeling good? Come eat. Oh, you had a good day today? Let me feed you. Oh, it's time for celebration? Let's eat. So food is something that's in a lot of people's generations. But if you're going to be that person that actually has the mindset that you want to be in the gym, you got to start early and you got to control that stuff because it's very hard to get your lines back in shape once you get older. So if you take care of it now while you're younger, you have a way better chance of actually maintaining some level of symmetry when you do get to the point where it's time to start working out. Hopefully that makes sense for y'all, man. But a lot of guys I've been seeing, I can't tell how old they are. And I'm not the type of person to walk up like, yo, how old are you? You know what I mean? But what I'm seeing is, some people are already blowing their lines early. And I know you're young. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got a fat stomach as a kid. Like, that's wild. You can't have that so young. You see what I'm saying? Second thing is I'm seeing guys who are in the gym and they're young, but they actually look kind of good. And that's questionable. I don't like that. I don't like when somebody looks too good, too young, because that lets me know that there's not a lot of space for growth. And it also makes me question, what are you doing to get that type of detail at such a young age? When the older guys, if anybody's in this chat who's been around, who's been lifting for a while, you know how much time it takes to get right. You know what I mean? Like, it takes time to build that detail in your body. So when you see somebody young with a certain level of detail, it's like whoa, what you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't trust that. I'm not gonna say you're doing something, but I don't trust it. You know what I mean? So, but we'll get back to that in a second. Now, the second thing is, if you're young, there's no need to lift heavy. All right. You don't need to be out here powerlifting, strong lifting, none of that stuff, man. Like, your body isn't fully developed yet until you're in your 20s, right? So your teens, your body's still growing. You've heard a lot of times where sports athletes have still grown well into their 20s. You know what I'm saying? Still getting taller well into their 20s. That stuff about squatting heavy and putting all that weight on your back and compressing your spine and lifting, being able to stunt your growth, it's hard to say that there's a truth to it because I'm not no doctor. You know what I'm saying? I can't say that if you start lifting heavy, you start squatting heavy, you're gonna stunt your growth. But the problem is that I've seen it. I remember dudes in high school that used to squat 400 pounds, 350, was getting busy, and they were all short. And I never understood it. Like, yo, why are y'all so short, but you strong as an ox? And I don't know if the shortness came from, lifting that heavy so young. I know down south, when I lived in South Carolina for a little bit when I first moved from New Jersey. And when I got down there, like, first of all, it seemed like a lot of people were shorter than me, but a lot of dudes who were in my school was buff, but compact. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if that's because they was lifting like that, but in New Jersey, it wasn't a lot of weight rooms and a lot of football and a lot of lifting and stuff like that. So I was just playing basketball. So when I came down south, it was like, oh, y'all was already down here getting big, but small. And I don't know if putting that heavy weight was compressing their spines, not allowing them to fully develop and grow. But if you know that this could be a potential option, don't even mess with it. There's no reason. There's nothing on the planet that gives you the reason to practice training to squat 400 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no reason you should be doing it anyway. Like, you don't have to squat 400. There's no reason for it. Yes, your muscles can grow. Yes, they can get strong, but the detail that you think you're going to get, you're not going to get it that young anyway, because that comes with time. And so working too hard too soon can only mess you up. It can only stunt your growth. It can damage your joints. It can mess up your tendons. And, of course, like I told you guys before, when you squat heavy, it also makes your waist big. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you got to either, if you're going to squat, make sure you put on a weight belt, tighten it up so that it takes the waist out of the equation when you're squatting, or just make sure that you're not even squatting, because realistically, your muscles don't need to have heavy weights in order to grow all the time. You can grow your muscles from reps, right? And we know this. There's different ways to grow your muscles. The food is what makes them get bigger, but the detail comes from the squats. So if you're going to squat, don't lift so heavy. You know, protect your joints. When you turn 30, 40, all those little ailments that you had from when you was younger, they're going to kick back in. So if you start beating your body down now, you're going to be really jacked up, man. When you hit that stride and it's time to actually start getting in shape, you're going to be jacked up because you're going to have all these ailments. And so try to avoid that stuff. Try to really pace yourself while you're young and not do anything that can be hazardous to your health and prevent you from being able to lift the correct way when it's actually time to start lifting. You know what I'm saying? So chill out, lift light, calisthenics. You know what I mean? Like, you can do calisthenics, you can eat good. There's no need. Did y'all see the thumbnail on this picture? That was me at, I think, 19. You know what I'm saying? Me at 19, I was getting busy. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 19 or 20. I was in there. That weight might have only been like 178 or something like that. But still, granted though, I was already in the midst of building my shape at 178. It was time for me to start putting on size. It was an easy transition, and I looked similar to the way I did when I was younger. So if you look like the way you look now and you keep on going this transition, you're going to be an amplified version of what you look like right now. So if all you guys who are young and not in shape and not ahead of the ball game, what's happening is you're going to be an amplified version of that guy when you get into your 20s and 30s. So that's what I'm saying. Take care of it, but be efficient and do the right things when you're trying to take care of it. Don't let yourself get too out of shape too young. But also, if you're going to be working out, don't do anything that's going to be hazardous. Okay. All right. Second thing. No, I got into that. Yeah. Second thing. We already talked about that. Protecting your joints. Now, the third thing. What is young? Now, let's get into this. What is young? What are we going to consider young? Is teenage too young to be working out? I would prefer you didn't work out at all if you're in your teens. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. I don't let nobody who I know who's a teenager, if I give any advice, I'm like all calisthenics, push-ups, pull-ups, dips, squats, jumping jacks, go outside, you know, be active. But to be hitting those weights like that, I'm not for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not for it, because you just don't know what your body is trying to do right now. You don't know if your tendons are growing. You don't know if you got, you know, it's too easy to mess something up. And there's no reason to mess something up so young. And also, it's really not, you don't need to be big. You don't need to be no big old swole 16-year-old. You know what I'm saying? Like, for what? Where you going? You going to be a bouncer? No, you don't need to be a swole 16-year-old. And it's hard to do that. And when you start lifting when you're young, the problem is that you can lift. Yeah, you may have the energy, but your appetite isn't going to give you the sufficient type of nutrients to get that body. You still out here eating Hot Pockets and stuff, and you're going to lift heavy. Yeah, you can get strong, but you're not going to have that detail because you don't know how to get into the food. And if you don't know how to get into the food, what you're doing is you're really messing yourself up, because now, okay, yeah, you may be strong, but when it's time to get older, you eating that same way because you're an amplified version of that person you were when you were younger. And so now you're eating the same stuff. You got the same habits that you developed when you were younger. And yeah, maybe you used to work out, but now you might have that I work out underneath all of this body fat look because I still eat bad. So it's just a mess. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not for the exercising when you're young, mentally, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not for it because there's too many things that can go wrong. Yes, things can go right too. Yes, you can train specifically for that sport or whatever activity you're in, but bodybuilding and lifting like that, I'm not for it. You know what I'm saying? Not for it. Unless you injure something and you got to rehab or something like that, but just trying to get swole, I'm not for it. All right. What is young? Young is teens, right? Once you start getting into your 20s, okay, yeah, let's start getting busy. It's time to start getting a little more serious. You can lift, you can do certain things, but the expectation should not be the same. You shouldn't expect to have fine detail in your 20s. Like, that's ridiculous. Anybody you see that got fine detail in their 20s, hey, you can be a genetic specimen, but also it's unnecessary. Like in your early 20s, no, it's not necessary. 25, 26, you should be starting to see some type of lines, striations and stuff like that from just working out for a while. But in your early 20s, you should not expect that. You know what I'm saying? I remember my father telling me one time, I was like, because, you know, the best way to find out about what you're going to look like or something like that is by asking your parents and doing your research, right? So figure out what your genetics are like. So I was talking to him and I said, you know, how old were you when you finally hit 200? He was like, I don't think he hit 200 pounds till he was in his 30s. Now, I'm 180 when I asked him this. And I was like, you know, So I was already bigger than he was at his age, right? But he told me to just chill out because the size is gonna come on. Like the weight will start sticking to you. You know what I'm saying? For some people it will. Not, some people it won't, but the weight will stick to you once you get older. You need to chase it because eventually your body's gonna want to hold on to that weight anyway because of just age. You know what I'm saying? Your metabolism slows down, which is great, because you don't want to be eating and doodling, eating and sweating. You know what I'm saying? You burn it all out, but once you get older, you can kind of sit down a little bit. Now, when you work out, you eat, it goes to the right places, it sits in the right areas, and you're looking like the way you're supposed to look. But you have to still keep up that exercise regimen that you've been doing. But you also, just make sure that you're doing everything the right way when you're younger. So, all right, now, next thing is number 4. Social media is giving you guys false hope. I don't want to say I'm blaming it, and shoot, I could be the one to blame too. You know what I'm saying? Indirectly, you could be seeing my pictures like, well, I don't know how old he is, and I don't know what his story is, but I want to look like him. And that's tough. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Like, because I've looked online and I've been like, yo, I want to look like that guy. You know what I mean? But it's not necessarily that I want to look like that guy. I want to know what he's doing to maintain that shape and what are the capabilities that I can do within my own standards, right? What's the best version of me at this time? Where should I be right now? And a lot of times right now, you shouldn't be where that guy is. Those people who tell you, like all those famous influencers that you guys listen to and talk to or watch on Instagram, you may think that they got in shape fast, but a lot of times they've been getting busy for a long time. And a lot of times those guys are short. You know what I'm saying? So don't be too stuck on seeing somebody online and thinking that, oh man, he got a great body. Yeah, he might have a great body, but body is short too. So you that short, yeah, your body should be great being that short. You know what I'm saying? Like that trick is hard to do if you got longer limbs and you 6 something, you know what I mean? You 6 feet 5'11" and up. Like it's harder to get in shape like that because you got to still grow your quads, you got to get them hamstrings, you got to get your calves. All of that stuff comes into play. And when you're shorter and a little bit stockier, it looks a lot easier. It looks, I'm not gonna lie, like y'all can look better if you're a little bit shorter. I get it, you know what I'm saying? But once you start getting into that taller range, you can't compare yourself to a short guy and say, I want to look like the short guy. Because it's not gonna work like that. And so the thing is, you got to really focus on yourself, worry about your body. And yes, you can use the guys online as a reference, but you don't use them online as a standard to what you're supposed to look like, because it ain't what you're supposed to look like. You see what I'm saying? You got to look like yourself, and you got to do it safely. And there's no reason to look that good, because a lot of times those guys who look that great are way too conditioned. Like it's hard walking around like that. It's hard being lean all year long. You know what I'm saying? Like the lifestyle that it takes, if you're not using drugs, lifestyle that it takes is a lot of cardio, a lot of clean eating, low salt sometimes, 0 sugar sometimes, like all of that stuff to get them striated glutes and abs and details. And y'all guys want to compete in classic physique, being so young, like teenage classic physique. I get it, man, but you can really ruin your body. All of those supplements, all those things that you're taking now, that type of work you're doing, that stuff, the creatine, that stuff can mess up your kidneys so young that by the time you turn 20 something, you already got, the body of an old man. So it's like, why even go through that? You feel me? Why even go through it? All right. Next thing is, you can't rush a physique without suffering the consequences later. I'm gonna say it again. You cannot rush a physique without suffering the consequences later. Anything that comes fast will not last. If you do something and you've been going hard early on, like let's say you lifting and you just trying to get big, you're trying to see what can happen and get big by the time you go back to school next summer, or maybe you in college, you're just trying to get, your first year, you want to put some size on. You can put some size on, but putting on 20, 30 pounds, 40 pounds, trying to hold on, don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Slow down. Let it come to you. Don't try to chase that weight. Don't try and chase that goal, because, the number in your head, and if you're anything like the way I was when I was younger, I didn't care about what I looked like. I cared about that number on the scale. My whole thing was, oh, shoot, I need to get to 200. Like, I need to get to 188. I need to get 200 pounds. And I remember back then when I was still eating chicken and stuff, I would work out. I would go to Zaxby's or Chick-fil-A, get my little meal, eat my food, eat my chicken, eat my food, or work out, get my chicken. And I was thinking that this was going to put that size on me. But what was happening was, I was eating all that bread. I was having all the carbs that went with it. And yes, I was growing. I probably was taking a protein shake or one of those weird mass gainers or something like that. And my stomach was growing. I was putting the weight on, but it wasn't a beautiful alignment of weight. It was just like weight. You know what I'm saying? It was like somebody took some pounds and was like, here you go, put that on your body and see what it looks like. You know what I'm saying? And you can't do that. You got to make sure that your body comes together perfectly. And so me rushing it, trying to chase that number was hurtful to my progress, because later on I realized that I had to shed all that weight back off and do it over again the right way. So if you can avoid it, you know, hopefully y'all, some of this stuff is sticking with y'all, man, you know. But hopefully if you do it the right way, you'll see that it'll last longer, aside from trying to do it real quick, and then you'll lose it all because, you know, it's not a sustainable way of building muscle. Muscle takes time. Like, and if you want quality muscle, that takes time, yo. Like, to have that muscle that sticks on you, and even when you fall off, you can bounce right back because of muscle memory. Like, that's some work, yo. You know what I mean? That's some work. Like, I got some friends that worked out. Maybe you went away for a while or stopped touching the gym for, you know, a couple months or years from whatever situation, you know what I mean? And then you come back into it. If you've been working out, that body will start responding, you know, back to where it's supposed to go. But if you're not used to working out from that time when you're younger, and let's say now, oh, okay, I want to start now at 20, it's going to take you a lot more time to start getting that detail. You know what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. If you're young, do your calisthenics, stick with that. Because when it's time to start adding the weight, your body will look a lot better, because now all you're doing is adding weight to the physique that you already built. Okay, so hopefully that cleared all the, you know, nonsense up about what you should do when you're young. Okay. The next thing is, oh, and the other thing too, injuries. Remember, like I said before, when you're young and you're going hard like that, you got that energy, but your body doesn't necessarily follow. And what'll happen, and a lot of people who watch this video can attest to it, is that those lingering injuries that you sustain when you're younger, they'll come back floating around when you get a little bit older. And times too. You know what I'm saying? Those kneecaps, those meniscuses that you torn, those rotator cuffs. So I remember I had an issue with my clavicle from benching heavy. When I used to bench press and I used to get in there and get busy and was trying to get my weight up, I had messed my clavicle up, and I could feel it when I moved my arm like this. When I rotate my arm, I could hear this. You know what I mean? And I had that from when I was like maybe 20 to maybe like 24, 25, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to take off. I remember I stopped bench pressing because of that, because I kept tearing my junk up. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. It's not worth it. You know what I mean? And so a lot of y'all, you got to understand, it's not worth it. Like, there's ways to get in shape, and there's a safe way to get in shape too. So just be careful. Okay? All right, now focus on building the foundation. Like I just said, foundation with calisthenics if you can. Add the weights later. All right, add the weights later. The weights will put the size on you, and by the time you start adding the weights, you can couple that with eating good too. But if you just doing calisthenics and stuff like that when you're young, if you just got a pudgy look or you don't really have any detail in your body right now while you're young, you need to be doing a lot of pull-ups, a lot of push-ups, a lot of dips. I went to the gym today and all I did was dips and tricep presses. Dips, tricep presses. That's it. That was my whole workout for the day. And I'm 33, and I've been doing that since I was 18. You see what I'm saying? So my workout is similar, and all I did was just incorporate more weights as I got older. So for you, keep that in mind too. Like, you can have that same type of shape when you're young, and then just amplify it as you get older, right? By just adding weights to it. Okay, so but build that foundation the right way, and not off of that, off of that. Where you guys got to remember, this is on the fly. I didn't write this down, but off of the gym, you look like a gym dude. And I don't know if that's what y'all, if that's the look that you're going for, but I personally like looking like an athlete. I don't really care to look like, oh, you must live in a gym. I don't want people walking up on me asking me gym stuff all day long. You know what I'm saying? You know that gym look, that the wide lats, you know what I mean? The shoulders that kind of don't match your body because your lats are too wide, flat chest, big chest, flat back, because you know, that gym body, I'm not really into that. I like looking like an athlete, like I want somebody to walk up on me and ask me what sport I played. And that comes from calisthenics, because it's a natural movement of your body when you're doing your pull-ups and your dips and your push-ups and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? When you start in there and you doing fixed machines, you get a fixed look. And now you're cookie cutter, because you, your man, the dude across the room, y'all all work the same machines. So what happens? Now y'all all looking like, now y'all some cookie cutter dudes, and everybody's in the gym because they doing the same thing, all looking like. So be careful with that. And if you want to look like somebody who you want to like your friend or your guy who works out across from you, okay, be my guest. You want to look different, you want to look magnificent and have a physique that people can, ask you advice on, you better start with your calisthenics. You know what I'm saying? Believe me now. Like I told y'all a couple weeks ago, look at that old man that's in your gym that's been in there getting busy. The old man with the tank top and the bandana and the work gloves on. Look at him and see what he's doing. I bet you, I guarantee you he's in there with them work gloves on, banging out pull-ups at 65 years old or like that, because that's how you build a body. You know what I mean? The body don't come from the weights. The weights come after. The weights are a supplement. Weights are a supplement to building that physique, especially when you're young. Okay. Number 7 is I want you guys to start practicing good habits now. So while you're young, practice good habits. Don't start, doing bad habits while you're young, because I thought about this the other day, man. Like, I'm learning cryptos now, and I'm learning like how to sell other products online, right? And so by me doing this, I'm older, and I kind of feel like, dang, I wish I would have learned this when I was in my 20s, because like my mind was just a lot more youthful. Like I could just pick up stuff a lot faster when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm good now, but because there's so much life that goes on, you kind of have to learn within life. And when I didn't have that much life, if I could have just been sitting back doing this, like, I mean, you think about people that go to college. Y'all go to college and learn all these different things when you're young, and then you never use it again. You know what I'm saying? So if you can apply yourself when you're young, and you can actually do this stuff to help you maintain for later on down your life, use your youth to your advantage and pick these things up now. Pick up these good habits now so that they can be built when you get older, and that you don't have to worry about getting in shape later. I'm 40 and now I want to start now. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Now I got to get a trainer because it's like, don't know. You know what I'm saying? Do that job now when you can. Like, there's no reason you shouldn't have a set of perfect push-ups in your house and you knocking out a set of, you could do 200 in a workout day. You know what I'm saying? In an hour, you do 200 perfect push-ups. Like, that's your day. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to do that while you're young. You feel me? So keep that in mind. Okay? Try to enjoy your youth. Have fun. Don't take it too seriously. That's another problem I've been seeing. And when I was in the gym the other day, I seen a lot of dudes look like they was really like serious about it. And I was like, for what? Wait, where you going? You know what I'm saying? When you about to compete, you getting on stage for something? Like, it's unnecessary. Like, why even want to build that? And it's so hard to build. Like, I don't know if y'all understand this, man. Like, when you're working out, you're in the gym for a reason. I don't know why y'all work out. I work out for aesthetics, right? So when I talk about it, please understand it. I'm only talking about a look. Like, I'm not talking about working out for overall wellness, overall health. I'm talking about exercising so that you can look like a mother effer, you know what I'm saying? A specimen when you walk in the room. So if you're doing that when you're in there, you know how many details you got to be in keep in your mind. You got to worry about those rear delts. You got to worry about those forearms. You got to worry about those obliques. You got to worry about those traps. You got to worry about like the things that you normally would miss, them calves and stuff like that. Things that you normally don't think about. Those are the things that make you have a great body. So if you're in there doing the basic stuff, I'm doing, a couple exercises for my biceps, my shoulders, my triceps, my back, whatever, my legs a little bit, it's not even worth it. Like, because now when you get older, you got to come back around and clean up those other things that you hadn't been touching for so long. So keep that in mind, man. Like, if you're going to do it, but you got to make sure that you're well-rounded and doing everything that you're supposed to do and not leaving any stone unturned. There's so many guys who work out, so many young guys who are in the gym working out and only focusing on specific things, thinking that they got to do 14 different exercises for their chest. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why everybody wants this big chest, but it doesn't happen like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just be like, okay, I want my chest bigger. Like, for what? You don't even need a big chest. Like, your chest is supposed to line up with your shoulder like a piece of armor. It doesn't need to pop out like this and be sitting up under you where you can't look down. You know what I'm saying? Like, what for what? Get your chest looking right. Build it so that it's wide, so that it leads into your shoulder. That means that by the incline stuff to build up right up here, right? This whole top part of it needs to be built up. That's incline. You got to do decline so that your chest also lifts up. A lot of cable work so that you can build the inner chest, right? Let that thing stretch out as much as you can without tearing anything, without tearing your rotator cuffs, and you bring it back together and squeeze. Different angles, all those different things like that. That's what builds a great physique. Going in there and doing a fixed bench press, man, that's nothing. You know what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. Like, you don't waste your time. Do it the right way. And on top of that, I don't like if I see you in the gym and you don't even do any calisthenics because you're starting off with just weights. So you missed the thing that you needed to do and jump straight to step 2. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, start with step 1, then move on to step, like, master that, move on to step 2, master that. And then you can start getting into detail. That's step 3. You know what I'm saying? But don't start off lifting and skip all your calisthenics. Like, you can't even do pull-ups, but you can bench press, whatever. You can lat pull down 300 pounds, but you can't pull up your own weight for sets of 10. Like, come on, man. You crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing? All right. Next thing is don't compare yourself to others, right? Hopefully I touched on that earlier. Try not to compare yourself to others. Keep your, mind your business. Back in my day, we used to wear big clothes. So I never even knew what my friends looked like. I didn't know I even had a good physique until one day we was in the gym in high school and I took my shirt off to play basketball. And they was like, oh shoot. And I was like, what? What happened? You know what I'm saying? They like, yo, you look good. I'm like, I look good. I didn't know that. I wear baggy clothes. I graduated in 2006. So if anybody who knows how it was back then, everything was baggy. Long shirts, baggy pants, you know what I'm saying? Like big fitteds, all of that stuff. That style that I had back then, I never even knew that. They didn't even make clothes like this. Like joggers didn't come out until like 2015 or something like that. So all of that stuff never was even around. You know what I'm saying? So yes, you have more of a, yes, you as the younger person, you have more of an influence because that's the way the society has gone to show what the physique is like. Yeah, it shows it because in your clothes, you got to wear tighter clothes. Y'all wearing skinny jeans now. Y'all wear tight shirts now. All of that stuff. Yeah. So you got to have a physique that kind of looks good in your outfit. I get that. But if you're working out, try to block out that noise. You know what I'm saying? Go in the gym, put your baggy clothes on and focus on yourself. You know, I don't like working out with people. I never was a fan of working out with friends and stuff like that because everybody's journey is different, right? But if you're comparing yourself to what you want to be like from somebody on TV or somebody on Instagram or something like that, and you're trying to mimic their style to get to that goal, all it's going to do is slow you down. You know what I'm saying? All it's going to do is slow you down. I got one person who I look at and I keep in mind, and that's Frank Zane. I look at Frank Zane. I got his picture on my vision board. It's the only person. You don't see me, Frank Zane, Mike Rashid, Ulysses, this person, that person. I'm not trying to be all of them. You know what I'm saying? I look at Frank Zane. I'm like, I like what he did. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna see if I can build something similar to that with my body because I like the way his lines flow. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the overly big shoulders or the overtraining or the over chest or the over. I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Let my junk look beautiful. Let me step into a room, take my shirt off, and everybody say, not, boy, you big as hell. You looking like the look. I don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be that guy. Don't ask me about what I've been doing and how can I get. No. Let me look like a specimen. And you guys need to keep that in mind too, okay? The last thing is, we talked about this last week or a couple weeks ago. Don't take too much advice. Too much advice and advice overload will ruin you. Stick to something that you like. Stick to that person or whoever's theory you're going to use and try and apply it to you. Stick to that and stay with that. Once you start bouncing around and using 15 different workouts, it's gonna waste your time. You're gonna be going to the gym for no reason. When I first started working out, right, I got a gym membership, I think when I was 19, and I didn't know what I was doing. It was Bodyplex, something like that. I don't know if y'all know what Bodyplex is. I got a gym membership in Bodyplex, and dude, I didn't know what I was doing in there. Like there was so much stuff and I was overwhelmed. You know what I'm saying? This was probably back in 2008. So 2008, there was no, courses and there were hardly even any personal trainers back then. You know what I'm saying? so with that being said, like, you can get in shape, but you just had to kind of know. Like you had magazines, you had Flex magazine, you had all them bodybuilding magazines. You can look in there, and I used to look in there and find the workouts in the magazine and be like, okay, I'm gonna try this today. But there was no way of even finding out how to do the exercise because there was no internet like that to know. So you had to open your mouth and talk to an old head and ask him, hey, you know what this is? I never seen overhead tricep presses with X, Y, and Z. Like, how do I do that? Oh, okay, yeah, you got to do it like this. So you had to open your mouth to learn how to do it. But I would never bounce around to 1,000 different people and take advice. You can just to see what works. If you want to start off and try different advice from somebody and say, okay, what do you do for your chest? You did that for your chest? Okay, I'm gonna try that. And I'm gonna see if that's effective for me. Let's say you get sore, stick with that and leave it alone. Shut it down. You don't need any more chest advice from nobody else. Same thing with each body part. Once you find out what gets you sore and what makes you, you don't need more advice. Stick to that program. Put your blinders on and focus on that and stay with that for a long time. You know what I mean? But start off with your calisthenics and your body weight stuff first. Body weight first, and then add the weights in. Okay. Listen, I hope y'all learned something today. I was long-winded. I didn't even plan on being here that long. I thought this was going to be a short topic, but it ended up flowing. I appreciate y'all for being in the chat today, man. Any questions you guys have right now while you got me in here? I'm gonna try and be back in here next week. I'm gonna be back in here next week again, but Uncle Sai, you said greetings from Japan. I appreciate that. You say you started at 75. Listen, it is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Good. You still doing it 75 and watching me. That's wonderful. You know what I mean? So you still keeping your body together. All right, everybody. Hopefully you learned something today. If you did learn anything, pass it on. There's no need to retain the knowledge. Share this video and please, comment below for any questions that you have going forward. Subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. I hit 35,000 subscribers, so I'm feeling good. You know what I'm saying? I might have a party or something, so that's cool. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.